title this World War II Part 11. World War II Part 11. Where we left off, we just talked about some of the things that were going on in Iwo Jima, Okinawa, some of the massive casualties the Japanese were taking. Very obvious that they were not going to surrender. So it comes down to a huge decision that now President Truman, FDR died. Remember, FDR died, so now President Truman is in charge, and he's going to have to make this decision. The Manhattan Project was so top secret that Truman had no idea. When FDR died, they had to pull Truman aside and say, hey, we got this new weapon. We got to let you know about it. Okay? And it was going to be very, very devastating. In fact, nobody had an idea of how powerful this weapon would be, even when it went off. Okay? The Trinity test went off, and that's what this is depicting, the Trinity test, which was a test for the bomb. Went off, and people were really afraid that they could not stop the chain reaction. Okay? So the Trinity test went on very successfully. The Truman was actually meeting with Stalin when the Trinity test went on, and Truman got the news about the test and the news that it went well, and he actually told Stalin, hey, we got this new weapon that could end this war. And basically right there it said that Stalin said, well, I know, or good, like he wasn't affected by it. So we knew that Stalin already knew that we had this. So we also knew that they were trying to get an atomic bomb. Okay, so really, the Cold War has already begun before the war even ends. So we knew this was going on behind the scenes as well. So another reason, okay, is that we did not want Japan, or Russia has already agreed that they were going to enter the war with Japan. We did not want that. We've already seen what's going to happen in Europe. We don't want them in Japan, period. So that's going to kind of heighten our or quicken our approach of what we're going to do in Japan. Okay, but the main reason is that we want to try to end this as soon as possible and save American lives as well as Japanese lives in avoiding a possible invasion. So President Truman actually saw the bomb as a military weapon, and he believed it should be used. Okay, there are estimates that said that the invasion of Japan would actually cost the Allies 1 million casualties. 1 million casualties. So right there, he's going to make his decision on that. It's a military weapon. Why not use it? How would I look somebody in the face or look somebody in the eyes, tell them that their son died when I knew that we had this weapon to end the war? And he constantly said that in a lot of his memoirs. But you also got to look at the political reasons behind it too. Okay, not only could we end the war, number one, not only are we going to save American and Japanese lives, believe it or not, but we're also going to keep Japan from any influence of the Russians, so Russia's out. And we will also be able to show Russia, hey, look at what we have. Okay? Because we've already seen that the Cold War has begun. The Enola Gay was sent to drop the bomb. The pilot was Paul Tibbets. There he is, Paul Tibbets from Columbus, Ohio. When the bomb went off, instantly it killed 70,000 to 80,000 people. Gone. Like that. Within a few months, that number will jump as high as 140,000 because of the radiation. Okay, many died from radiation or burns. 90% of the city was leveled, and we're just still learning about this. That the weapon could have actually even been more powerful. That it perhaps didn't even fire correctly, or it was actually supposed to be close to 100 times as more powerful. Just didn't. work as much as possible. So of course, after something like that happening, we chose Hiroshima because it was an industrial city. We could have easily chosen a more populated area, but we chose Hiroshima because of where it was and the industry. But even after that, Japan still did not surrender. So 3 days later, August 9th, we dropped a second atomic bomb. Okay, the first atomic bomb was called Little Boy. The second one will be called Fat Man. Fat Man was dropped on a city called Nagasaki, another industrial town. Okay, it was actually a secondary target. Similar numbers in death and destruction. This was actually supposed to be a more powerful bomb, but the numbers were a little bit different because the ocean and their mountains. Okay, it actually leveled the city even worse than it did Hiroshima, but as far as the death totals, they'll be similar, but it could have been a lot worse as well. Finally, the Japanese agreed to surrender on August 14th. It's called VJ Day, August 14th, on the USS Missouri. The boat itself is now stationed in Pearl Harbor, and you can actually walk up on the boat and see the plaque where Japan surrendered. Okay, we're going to really discuss the use of the atomic bomb in class. But the casualties of World War II, oh, there's Little Boy. Let me go through this stuff first. That's what Little Boy looked like. That is Fat Man. Okay, the Fat Man was actually dropped from a plane called Boxcar, which is at the Air Force Museum. There's Boxcar. Okay, there's a picture of Nagasaki. And that is at the Air Force Museum. The pilot was Major Charles Sweeney, another B-29. And there's my daughter. And that's what Fat Man looked like. So there it is. And you see the size of it as well. Okay. Here are some pictures of before and after. These are crazy. Okay, these are pictures from high altitude, obviously. Here's the epicenter. Here's where the target was in Hiroshima. Right here at that, where the two, there was a bridge right here. That's where it targeted. Now the bombs actually explode above the target. They don't hit the target, so they explode above to rain down that radiation and destruction. So you can see before, after. Before, after. Crazy. I mean, it's gone. Look at Nagasaki. Okay, ground zero, the target here was about right in this area. All these are structures, houses, factories. Look at that. Gone. I mean, gone. Some of the heat from the blast was so hot that it actually, and the light was so bright that it actually burned shadows into the ground. Okay, you can see this. There are many memorials from these there. Here's another one. This is all that is left of a victim. They were vaporized. Okay, all that is left was their shadow. And we'll talk more about those in class. Casualties of World War II, Japan, over 1.5 million dead. Germany, 3.3 million dead. Soviet Union, over 13. Some estimates are as high as 20 million in the Soviet Union. We lost over 292,000 men. Over 600,000 wounded. Japan or China, about 10 million dead. Total deaths in World War II, military and civilian, 72 million people died. 72 million people died. Here's some more pictures of the destruction. That's a picture of the blast. It's crazy. That is all. Stay classy, Vandalia.